You ready, or? I fixed my hair color. The lighting's different this time, so you can't tell, but I did it. Welcome back to my channel. If you've never been here before, I need to come up with a new intro because oftentimes I don't bother to write this part. I also didn't bother to take a look in the mirror to find out if my post-day job look was horrifying or not. So, you get what you get. Anyway, welcome back to our second installment of what I've started to call the dump. Basically, the dump is where I present to you various things that I wanted to touch on or you wanted to hear in a shorter, more condensed format because I couldn't be bothered to make an entire video. So I did have some topics picked out already, and I did ask you guys on the community tab if there were any other things that you had, sort of like a desperate, not a desperate, you're not desperate, you're fine. I did ask you if you guys had anything you wanted me to cover, talk about, touch on. You had a lot of great suggestions, some really terrible ones. I'm not going to tell you which ones they were, but if you could work on that, that'd be great. And I didn't take all of them. I took some of them. Some of them I want to make bigger videos about, and some of them I don't care about. So again, you get what you get. Anyway, if you're not subscribed already, make sure you've done that so that I can ignore your requests too. Also, don't forget to like the video if this ends up being something that you can like passively tolerate. And let's get into it, shall we? I have a whole list here on my iPhone 8. Also, I'm starting a GoFundMe for a phone from this fucking century. So let's open it up with the first thing on my list, which is the Oscar nominations for the 2024 Oscars. Those came out today. Disassemble the patriarchy. Oscar nominations. I spelled it Oxer. I don't suppose that helps narrow down the search. So for Best Picture, we've got The Holdovers, American Fiction. I love that there's always a handful of things I've never heard of before. American Fiction, The Zone of Interest, Barbie, Oppenheimer, Poor Things, Past Lives, Anatomy of a Fall, Maestro, Killers of the Flower Moon. I have not heard of 1, 2, 3 of those movies. And I'm very important. No, the big controversy is not in the Best Picture category, but it is in the Best Actor, Best Actress, and Best Director categories. One of the biggest movies of the year, obviously, was Barbie, which admittedly I have not sat down to completely watch, but I will be doing that this weekend. I have gotten the gist of it, though, and find it intensely ironic that a movie about the inequity that exists between men and women, to simplify, and the patriarchal expectations of women versus men, kind of poignant when you think about the fact that Ryan Gosling was nominated for Best Actor as Ken, and Barbie herself, Margot Robbie, and Greta Gerwig, the director of said Barbie, neither one of them nominated. So, back to the kitchen, ladies. That's not to say that, like, just because they're women, they should be nominated. But I think we dropped the ball on this one. I'm going to go ahead and I feel pretty comfortable and confident. Not in my own skin, but in saying that to you just now. You know what, before we move on, let's talk about some good noms. In the same vein, Billie Eilish and Phineas are both They're nominated. They're gonna win. If they don't fucking win, I'm gonna be pissed for Best Song. America Ferrera did get nominated for the Barbie movie. I had someone point that out to me earlier today. I think in my blind rage I missed that. Also, Divine Joy Randolph is nominated in the same category as America Ferrera, and I really love her as well. I know I didn't see the movie she was in, but if she wins over America Ferrera, I'm sorry, but I'm okay with that. A little while ago, Ryan Gosling made a statement on being nominated over Greta Gerwig and Margot Robbie. And I'm going to read that to you because I learned how to read. There is no Ken without Barbie, Ryan Gosling said in a statement following Tuesday morning's Oscar nomination announcement. I am extremely honored to be nominated by my colleagues alongside such remarkable artists in a year of so many great films. And I never thought I'd be saying this, but I'm also incredible honored. Same. And proud that it's for portraying a plastic doll named Ken. Gosling's statement begins. But there is no Ken without Barbie, and there is no Barbie movie without Greta Gerwig and Margot Robbie, the two people most responsible for this history-making, globally celebrated film. No recognition would be possible for anyone on the film without their talent, grit, and genius. To say that I'm disappointed that they are not nominated in their respective categories would be an understatement. Against all odds, with nothing but a couple of soulless, scantily clad, and thankfully crotchless dolls, they made us laugh, they broke our hearts, they pushed the culture, and they made history. Their work should be recognized along with the other very deserving nominees. Having said that, I am so happy for America Ferrera and the other incredible artists who contributed their talents to making this such a groundbreaking film. Yeah. I mean, I'm of two minds because a movie that is a blockbuster, or even a movie that becomes the highest grossing movie by some standard, any standard, even if it's directed by a woman of all time, whatever the case may be, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's gonna win an Oscar, but like it had a lot of buzz, and I feel like nowadays there's no consistency in award season like there used to be, you know what I mean? Like it used to be like, oh, they won the Globe. Oh, okay, well, if they win the SAG, then they're going to win the Oscar. And then it was just like a pattern, you know? I don't know. That's all I got. Let's move on to the next subject. Ah, yes, the Ace family. I don't know much of anything about the Ace family. And I wasn't going to bother to research it today. But I did hear that they're getting a divorce. And Austin McBroom has stupid hair. So this article comes from Business Insider about the Ace family divorce. We're all heartbroken because family channels are the bread and butter of heart attacks. The channel, which is one of the biggest family vlog accounts with over 18 million subscribers, why? Follows the lives of Catherine and Austin, blah, blah, blah. Their 3 young children, of course. Exploitation. The Ace family has been marred by numerous controversies over the years that have made news headlines, from facing eviction on a $10 million mansion to hosting a festival that drew significant backlash for its overpriced food and collapsing tents. I don't know. That sounds like a good time to me. That sounds like a Midwestern graduation party. They announced their divorce in respective Instagram posts, stating it was a mutual decision and that despite the separation, they would be fully committed to supporting their kids. Well, I should hope so, because you're their fucking parents. God, can nobody fucking speak anymore? Our paths as a couple have shifted and has created challenges. Do you guys know how to diagram a sentence? Like, if you're of my age, your late 30s, did you diagram sentences as a kid? Because that's how my OCD brain remembers things. So basically what you're saying is our paths, our is the possessive adjective, paths. Paths is the subject. Paths. Multiple paths, plural. As a couple is not necessary. That's fluff. Our paths have shifted, right? Okay, and has created. So we went from have to has in the same sentence. That's incorrect. Because then you'd be saying our paths has created challenges. That doesn't make any fucking sense. Is English not one of their first languages? Because I don't want to be a dick if that's the case. I really should research my videos. She added that she felt liberated by the divorce because she had been losing her happiness over the last few years. Yeah, because her husband seems like a dick. She ended her post by calling Austin her best friend. Her best friend. Best friend. He's my best friend. And that will never change. McBroom wrote that the divorce was one of the hardest decisions of his life. We created one of the greatest stories, almost a decade together. So many memories, so many accomplishments, but every book comes to an end. Like you've ever read a book. The family's most recent YouTube upload, in which they answered several fan questions about the channel and themselves, was posted in June 2023. Fan reaction to the news has been heavily divided. Some users commented that they were devastated by the divorce, while others congratulated them individually and said they each deserved better. Cool. Austin McBroom was publicly accused by beauty blogger Cole Kerrigan of cheating on his wife and sexually assaulting a young woman in Miami in 2020. Something about the way he... Oh, God. Inappropriate behavior with his daughter. Ugh, yuck. That guy has always given me the yuck. And I don't want to know anything else about anything else ever. Look, if you want me to do a more deep dive on that subject, I'm gonna give you a solid probably not. Let's keep going. So another thing I wanted to touch on, I didn't want to make a whole video about this because it's not, I don't feel appropriate, but I also would feel remiss to not share this information considering kind of my history on this channel. But I only want to touch on it briefly. I won't be taking any questions. No, it's not that serious. So GABBIE Hannah has sort of resurfaced, not on the internet technically. She is doing fitness instruction in her hometown. She moved back to her hometown and is now a fitness instructor.
You want to know the real secret to meeting your fitness goals? Cardio? Sure, that's a part of it. Strength? Okay. Also a part of it. Don't make fun of my push-ups. But the real secret, the thing that's going to ensure you meet your goals? Consistency. 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 And you want to know the #1 secret to consistency? Fun. Your workout doesn't have to be boring. It can be as fun as a night out dancing with your friends. And it should be. My name's Gabbie and I'm your new instructor at the Lawrence County YMCA. I can't even tell my thighs are burning because I'm having so much fun and looking so good doing it. Am I dancing or am I swinging my waist? Take part in our 3 new dance-inspired fitness classes. No dance experience required. All fitness levels encouraged. Looking good all starts with feeling good. Come take a class today and thank yourself tomorrow.
I'm gonna say 2 things, exactly 2 things, exactly 2 things. 1, awesome, great offline, home with presumably with family or at least familiar people who can take care of her in a way, you know, like a support, emotional support, not take care of her like she's convalescing, but like, you know, be a village of support. But I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh, that's so wonderful, congratulations, oh, that's great, Gabbie, oh my God, it's wonderful. That is wonderful that she's taking care of herself and staying offline and is clearly in a better place. But the girl did a lot of fucking damage on her way out. I hope, I doubt, but I hope that she has or in the future mayhap make amends with those that have experienced Gabbie. Moving on. So a little follow-up, ooh, I spit. A little follow-up on a video I made a few videos ago. I couldn't put time to it because it doesn't exist, okay? I made a video about Jenelle Evans of Teen Mom, 16 and Pregnant, CPS fame. She and her husband are being investigated by CPS. Her oldest son, Jace, when I reported last, had reportedly been put in foster care, and her husband charged with misdemeanor child abuse. And I have some updates on that. Okay, so it's at this juncture in the video that if you didn't actually watch that video, like you're a fake fan or you're new here, welcome. Go back and watch that video for like full context, and so that I can have the view, and then come back here. Not the View, the TV show. That's, I don't, Joy Behar. So yeah, watch that and then come back. Actually, if you really need a whole refresh, why am I gesticulating so hard? She's part of my evolution of Teen Mom series, so you could watch that and then watch the one I put up. You'll figure it out. There's whatever. Anyway, so there's been some update. So since then, her other two children, Kaiser and Ensley, have been interviewed by CPS, and CPS has decided to leave them in the home, which feels like an absolute failure on the part of North Carolina Child Protective Services. David, her husband, his misdemeanor child abuse had been upgraded to felony. He, with the added context of strangulation, as in he put his hands on Jace, Jenelle's oldest son, put his hands on his throat to the point where he left bruises and marks. So he's now facing felony charges, as he should be. But as with everything with Jenelle and David, I expect literally zero consequences whatsoever. So they closed the case with her youngest children, and they are going to remain in the home. And evidently Jenelle had to take a court-ordered parenting class. Normalized parenting classes, doing this for the 5th time in my life. Now, a lot of people on Twitter were like, oh, hey, it's not normal to have parenting classes. I disagree. I think parenting classes are very normal. I think it's a good resource, especially like nonviolent communication parenting classes, and it's good to have other resources on how to parent your children. But what isn't normal is constantly having court-ordered parenting classes. We don't need to normalize that. That's not what we should be normalized. For those saying that's concerning, you took that class 5 times over the course of being a mother for 15 years. Her son's 14. And doing this to please others, CPS, but also become a better parent, speak volumes. That sentence doesn't even fucking make sense. But I get the gist. It's court ordered. It's not, clearly not working in the making you a better parent department. But most of you haven't had one class. You should look into it. Thanks for the advice, Jenelle. The only way I would ever come to Jenelle Evans for parenting advice was if I wanted to lose my kids twice. Maybe you would be able to control your emotions, messaging random people, and then you can focus on your kids. Maybe you could focus on learning how to form a proper sentence. You know? Jenelle then went on to compare herself to Gypsy Rose Blanchard because she's still very much determined to blame all of her problems on her mother Barbara, who took in her son Jace, you know, when he was born, and then like had him for like 13-ish years, and then took him back after he ran away from Jenelle. I'm telling you all, wait until my turn, because this is the definition of my mother. Hospitalizations of all children growing up 24/7, verbal and physical abuse, using doctors and medications to sedate my siblings. There's a lot. And the pattern is still happening. But I'm not afraid of you anymore, Barbara. Just out of curiosity, is you being afraid of Barbara, does it look like this?
Do you know I can punch you in your face right now?
God, she's so afraid. Final update on Jenelle is apparently Jace was not placed in foster care. He was placed in the care of one of David's relatives and has been visiting with Jenelle. There's no way there isn't some form of like really intense manipulation going on where Jace is concerned. Because he is with a relative of the man who fucking put his hands around his neck so hard that he left marks. And it seems like he's being sort of coerced into visitation with Janelle. But on the bright side, as long as David is there, Jace will never be allowed to move back to their home. He's with their relatives. Like, it's a lateral fucking move. I don't even know if that's better or worse than him just being straight up in the system. I feel for that kid, and I wish only the best for him. Also, in the Teen Mom Update segment, KAIL Lowry finally announced the fact that she had her 7th and 8th babies, the twins, even though we all knew that she had them like 3 months ago, because her 3rd baby daddy outed her in October. And then she likes to pretend that things like that don't happen, and then she just kind of writes her own narrative. Anyway, congratulations on getting your tubes tied when you had those twins. About time. KAIL is also the next one on my Teen Mom evolution of. So there'll be more of that. Moving on. Someone suggested that I review COLLEEN Ballinger's podcast that just came back with her husband. I tried to listen to the episode, and I kept falling asleep. So that's my review. It's boring as fuck.
Also, COLLEEN, wearing this Malibu Barbie sweatshirt in one of her latest vlogs, is antagonistic as fuck towards Trisha Paytas, and you cannot convince me otherwise.
Let's move on. So, Elle King, daughter of world-renowned comedian extraordinaire Rob Schneider, disgraced the beautiful, busty, and badass Dolly Parton. And I hear you. You're saying, Sajak, who the fuck would disrespect Dolly Parton? And I just fucking told you it was Elle King, so if you could pay attention, that'd be swell. She basically got up and made a right fucking fool of herself.
We're celebrating Dolly's birthday the good old fashioned way.
Yeah, go ahead and tell them I'm celebrating Dolly's birthday.
I'm not gonna play it because I don't want to fuck with the copyright. But, like, she goes on to sing Jolene in a way that, like, if you were rolling down a flight of stairs head first and singing Jolene, it kind of sounded like that, probably. I mean, she's got a good voice in general, but she really didn't need to get that drunk. I don't know, man. I'm not sure how the sheriff from Scary Movie 3 didn't set you off that maybe she wouldn't make the best choices.
I doubt you'll be seeing anything strange on this farm for a long time. We'll see. You alright, Tom?
Hey, for a fun activity at home, can you count how many racist characters Rob Schneider has played? Nobody can count that high. And finally, for a final segment in The Dump, which I'm going to try to incorporate in every episode of The Dump, I'm going to pick one comment from the last dump, and I'm going to dump on it. Mumbles McGee 69, great username by the way, says, I have a master's degree in geology, and I couldn't give less of a F about COLLEEN's rocks. Hell yeah. Same. I mean, I don't have a geology degree, but I still don't fucking care. But I do want to take this moment to apologize to everyone in the rock community that I deeply offended. I was very much informed on my last video that I shouldn't shit on things because they don't interest me, because they might interest other people. So for that, I'm truly sorry. If you enjoy rocks, I enjoy rocks. I think rocks are pretty, and I think it's an okay hobby to have. I just thought it was a really fucking weird transition into rock content from the shit she used to do. It feels quite dull by comparison. Not that it was very exciting before. If you enjoy doing rock things, I don't begrudge you for that. I don't think less of you. I'm not even judging you. I'm only judging Colleen. Okay? Just to be clear. Just to be clear. I didn't think in my first foray into dumphood that I would offend, but apparently there are people who were offended by my comments about rocks. It's okay by me if you think rocks are cool. I don't think you're less cool for that. Anyway, this has been The Dump. Thanks for joining me on this potentially offensive journey. Who knows what dump we'll get into next week. If you enjoyed this dump, leave it the one that goes like this. Subscribe if you want more dump, and there's a long form video coming very soon. Links to my Patreon, social media, channel memberships. There's all kinds of shit down there. You should probably go down there, check it out. Not my vagina in the box, the other box. Never mind. Anyway, thanks for being here. I appreciate you. If you have any ideas that you want for the next dump, or if you just want to potentially have your comment cheered or jeered for next week's dump, leave a comment down below. Leave a comment down below anyway. This outro is getting too long. Thank you to my patrons. I love you dearly. Thank you to you guys. You're just okay. Stay tuned for the outtakes if there are any, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.
We're sorry, the number you have dialed is not in service at this time.
Jesus. Hold on, I took some notes in here somewhere. Maybe just like a handful of things. You know, you'd think I would have gotten all this together earlier. Dumbass.